What if the drug you're taking to slow down aging is actually making you age faster? That's the uncomfortable question biohackers are now facing after one of the most advanced longevity experiments in the world just backfired. For years, rapamycin has been hyped as a game-changing longevity drug. It extends lifespan in mice. It mimics the effects of calorie restriction. It's been called the most promising anti-aging molecule we've ever discovered. But in March 2025, Brian Johnson, yes, the guy running the most data-driven anti-aging protocol on Earth, announced that rapamycin didn't just fail. It may have actually accelerated his aging. So what went wrong? Let's break down the science, the hype, the latest data, and why rapamycin might be the most overhyped longevity drug of the decade. What is rapamycin? Rapamycin was discovered in the 1960s in a soil sample taken from Easter Island. Researchers found it had powerful antifungal properties, so strong that they considered it a medical breakthrough. But they also discovered something else. Rapamycin was a potent immunosuppressant. In the late 1990s, it was approved for use in organ transplant patients to stop their immune systems from rejecting new organs. That's how rapamycin entered medicine, as a way to weaken the immune system. But fast forward to 2009, and a new discovery changed everything. Why it was hyped for longevity. In a landmark study, older mice given rapamycin lived longer, even when the drug was started late in life. Later studies showed even greater effects when rapamycin was combined with other compounds like acarbose. For male mice, lifespan increased by 34%. For females, 28%. That's huge. The mechanism? Rapamycin inhibits mTORC1, a growth-related cellular pathway. Too much mTORC1 activity is linked to aging, cancer, and metabolic diseases. By inhibiting it, rapamycin promotes cellular repair, stress resistance, and autophagy, the body's way of cleaning out damaged cells. Biohackers were sold. Rapamycin became the fasting mimetic, a drug that mimics the effects of calorie restriction without actually needing to fast. But there was a catch, or rather, several: the side effects. The same drug that shuts down the immune system in transplant patients was now being taken by healthy people to live longer, and that led to problems. In high doses or long-term use, rapamycin has been linked to poor wound healing, increased infection risk, elevated cholesterol and triglycerides, higher blood sugar, and suppression of NK cells, the immune system's natural cancer fighters. Still, many believe these risks could be reduced with intermittent dosing. Take it once a week, they said, or once every 2 weeks. That'll keep the benefits and dodge the side effects. One of those people was Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson's rapamycin protocol. Brian Johnson is the world's most extreme longevity self-experimenter. He tracks hundreds of biomarkers daily: epigenetic age, organ-specific function, sleep, recovery, the works. He experimented with different rapamycin protocols for nearly 5 years. Different doses, cycling schedules, blood testing 90 minutes, 24, 48, 72 hours after dosing. It was all carefully measured, all supervised by professionals. If anyone was going to benefit from rapamycin, it was him. And yet, what he got instead were side effects. He reported mouth ulcers, higher blood glucose, disrupted cholesterol levels, slower wound healing, and worst of all, a higher resting heart rate, one of his key longevity biomarkers. Eventually, Brian and his team decided to stop rapamycin altogether, and almost immediately his markers improved. His blood sugar normalized, his cholesterol improved, his resting heart rate dropped. Soft tissue infections went away. At first they thought it might just be coincidence, but then science caught up. The 2024 study that changed everything. In October 2024, a preprint study evaluated several anti-aging interventions using 16 different epigenetic aging clocks. One of those interventions? Rapamycin. The result? Rapamycin accelerated biological aging in humans, across multiple clocks, across multiple participants, even at moderate dosing. For years we thought rapamycin slowed down aging. Now we had early evidence it might actually do the opposite, and that forced the community to take a step back. The problem with mTOR inhibition. Here's the issue. Rapamycin doesn't just inhibit mTORC1, the one we want to suppress. It also affects mTORC2, which plays a role in metabolism, immune balance, and insulin regulation. Too much inhibition of mTORC2 can impair glucose metabolism, disrupt lipid profiles, suppress immune function, and make it harder to build and maintain muscle. That's a pretty big deal, especially if you're already aging and trying to stay strong, metabolically healthy, and resilient. So now we're left with this question. Is rapamycin more harm than help? Should you take it? Let's be honest. For 99% of people, the answer is no. Rapamycin still has medical uses. If you've had an organ transplant, it could be life-saving, and it may still be useful in cancer therapies or very specific short-term interventions. But as a general anti-aging tool for healthy people, there's just not enough evidence, and far too many red flags. Even the best controlled personal experiments like Brian Johnson's ended with more harm than benefit. And now that human data is catching up, the picture isn't looking much better. Rapamycin isn't useless. It opened the door to understanding mTOR and its role in aging. It inspired research into fasting mimetics, caloric restriction, and autophagy. But as of 2025, it's no longer the miracle it was once sold to be. The smart move now? Focus on what actually works. Sleep, nutrition, exercise, stress management. Evidence-backed supplements that don't require immune suppression. Sometimes longevity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what works. So for now, rapamycin belongs on the watch list, not in your supplement stack. And as always, have a good one.